I'm Laura Rachel and today I'm going to show you how you can take 2 professional looking newborn portraits using just your phone. Currently, due to the virus, we're unable to hire a professional photographer, and this means we're likely to miss out on those beautiful memories. But there's no reason for you to miss out. If you can take near professional portraits using just your phone, it means you still get to have those wonderful images. Of course, it won't replace a professional photographer, but it's fantastic to know these techniques so you can take loads of photos and you don't miss out. So we're going to learn about the small little details that make a difference when it comes to a professional portrait. We're going to look at light, what makes good light and what makes bad light. We're going to look at the different angles to really make a difference, and posing. These are 2 really easy to do poses. It's simple to transition from one pose to the other. So this is specifically for newborn babies, under a month old. But really, these are such simple poses that you can do any age. What your baby wears is completely up to you. This could be a great opportunity to show off those baby grows that you've been given as gifts, or have them in the nude. Both poses include the legs in the front, so you won't see any bits. And remember to always make safety a priority. Never balance your baby anywhere or do any poses that are unsafe. Keep them close to the floor or on a bed. Never tilt their head back or forwards. Keep it in line with their body. And be really gentle when moving their arms and legs. Never try any poses that you've seen online without guidance, help, or a professional. We spend years training to do newborn photography, so it's not as simple as just balancing them there and getting the shot. Some images you see online have taken hours, and there's a lot of Photoshop involved, so you can't see the actual support that's around them. It's dangerous to try these poses out. This is why I've given you 2 really easy poses to do that you can do on your own, and it's perfectly safe. So the equipment I'm using today is just the iPhone 10. It's not the latest phone and it's not the best camera, but it's pretty good. It's enough for this. I'm using portrait mode and the normal photo mode. You can use any phone that has a camera, or just use a camera. I'll also be using cushions and blankets. I'm not using anything professional, these are just items I found in the house. So first let's look at angles. We want a nice flattering angle for your baby. This really makes a difference between a snapshot and a professional shot. So let's look at a bad angle. When we're low down to the baby, their body is bigger because it's closer to the camera. As we move up, we can see the difference. Their head is closer to the camera, and therefore their body is small, compact and cute. You can really see the difference of shooting low and shooting high. So we're going to aim to be above the baby. A good tip is to look at your photo and see, can you see up their nostrils? If you can, you're too low. So we stay above the baby, and what makes it even better is if we lean towards the light slightly. That really gives it that professional edge. So lighting. This is really important. It's not always about the most light, it's about the best light. We want to switch off flash, switch off any lights in the house. In my lounge, which is where I chose to do the photos, I have 2 big windows. One is a bay window. There is light coming in at 3 different directions. There's plenty of light, but it's not the right kind of light. At the opposite end of the room, I have south-facing French doors. These are perfect for this. But on a bright sunny day, this is just too much light. You can see how harsh that light is coming through that window. This isn't comfortable for the baby and it isn't good for photos. So to avoid this bright light, there's a few things we can do. We can wait for a rainy day. We can wait for later on in the day when the sun's moved. We can put up a sheer curtain just to diffuse the light, or like I'm showing you here, you can close half of the curtain and move the baby into the shade. Now it may look like I'm making this image darker, but I promise you it's perfect. You can really see the difference between a bright sunshine portrait and in the shade. We still have plenty of light, but we've got that soft light coming in and the contrast of the shadow. Now let's look at how the light falls on the baby. If we place the baby with the light above their head, you can see how it falls quite naturally from above down, but we're getting quite a lot of shadow. As we move the baby round, you can see how it becomes a lot more flattering. Side onto the window, we have a beautiful contrast of light and shade. As we move the baby further around where their feet are facing the window, it becomes a lot more unflattering. You can see as the light comes up at their face, it's not nice at all. It's actually quite scary. So we want to ensure that the baby's feet are facing away from the window slightly. So let's have a look at my setup. I want to make this exactly like you have at home. So I've only used things that I have in my lounge. I've taken 2 cushions, one on top of the other, the top one off slightly. I've taken a small cushion underneath and I've padded the sides with some blankets and some flannels in the middle. This is making a nest for the baby to sit in. So then I place a blanket over the top, tuck that in to stop the cushions from moving, add a few more blankets for more cushion, and a final blanket on top. The final blanket has a bit of texture just to hide any lumps and bumps. I make sure there's plenty of blanket on the furthest side away from the window. This is because when we're leaning towards the window for photos, we're not getting any carpet. So our first pose. This is a super easy pose and really can be done at any age. Even with awake babies, this is really comfortable for them. In the nest that we've made, there's a bit of a dip. We want to place the baby's bum in that dip and their back leaning against the top. We can place their hands on their chest or their tummy, and we want to cross their legs over and just roll their hips forward slightly. This is particularly important if you're shooting a nude baby. Make sure they're comfortable and just neaten up their baby grow if you can see any nappy. You can also lift up the blanket and stuff some extra layers just to support that baby even more. Once the baby's in position and comfortable, we can start taking pictures. You may need to turn their head towards the light slightly. Always do this gently and slowly. Put your hands either side of their head and turn it towards the window. We want to stay above the baby. Remember, no nostrils. Above the baby and lean towards the window and take your photo. Take photos in landscape and in portrait. You can also take pictures of close-ups, their eyelashes, their fingers, their toes. Remember, they're only this small for such a short amount of time. Capture those memories. And you can do a few variations with their hands and feet. You can hold the foot, hands on chest, hands on tummy. Do anything that they're comfortable with. And a little tip for you, babies will always clench their fists. So to make it look really good, just take your finger, pop it under their fingers and slowly unroll their hand. Place it on their chest and then do the same for the other one. Always be really gentle, but this is a huge difference between a baby laying there and a gorgeous pose. They may flinch, they may wake up. Remember, you need to be patient with this. Take your time. Just pick the baby up, comfort them, and then try again later. So pose number 2. This is really easy to transition from the first one to the second one. All we need to do is uncross their legs nice and gently. Bring one hand next to their head. The other one can stay on the tummy or move round as well. And we're going to gently rock their body around to the side. Then we can place one foot above the other, or we can do some other variations. One foot in front or one behind. Do what you feel looks best. With the hands, you can place them in the prayer position under their chin. It's just going to go slightly under their head, and you can lift up their head slowly to place the hand underneath. You may need to unravel their fingers again. And when taking these photos, remember, stay above the baby, nice and high, and lean towards the window. You can get some close-ups again. So you may choose to edit these photos, but I think these look fantastic just as they are. I wouldn't want to touch them. This is about beautiful, natural images. If you want to edit your images, you absolutely can. I've chosen to crop a few and tilt them. I always love a tilted image on a newborn portrait. You can also adjust some of the settings for light and contrast. But these are really nice and natural because we've got the natural light, and you may not wish to do anything. So there you have it. That is how you take 2 professional looking newborn portraits. We have learnt about light, what light works for a good portrait. We've looked at angles. We know what's flattering and what's unflattering. And we've talked about posing so you can create those professional looking images. Thank you for watching. Please give me a like, subscribe. I've got plenty more videos coming. I really want to help you out with taking your own photos. If you've chosen to use a camera and you don't quite understand the settings, please just leave me a comment, ask me any questions, and I will help you out with that. Thank you for watching. I hope that you are able to take some beautiful photos of your newborn baby.